Elon Musk manages to keep himself in the news headlines with Twitter talking about his ultimatum that he sent to people, resulting in lots of people actually leaving from that, and now laying off even more people. We can see right here that Twitter lays off more sales staff, totaling employee cuts reach 66%. I think when Elon bought the company, it was something like 75%. He said they planned to lay off. So getting pretty close to that number. But the reason Twitter laid off a bunch of sales staff, from what a lot of people are talking about, is his ultimatum email resulted in a lot of the engineers leaving and the sales team staying. So he needed more engineers, less sales team. So the sales team ended up getting more cuts after that ultimatum. So you can see the total number of employees here. It says the San Francisco social network had roughly 7,500 employees when Musk bought it last month, but after multiple rounds of cuts, that number is down to 2,750 people. So immediately we can see there's big changes going on. A lot of people getting laid off, a lot of people leaving, choosing not to stay with the company. Pretty typical stuff with like management and different people, ownership coming in. But something that's they're focusing on Twitter so much here, when all of the social media or big tech platforms are freezing hiring or laying off people. It's not like it's a safe environment out there where everyone's job is safe and Twitter's the only company laying people off. So it does seem a little weird that so much of the media is focused on Elon Musk laying people off when the big tech platforms are all doing it because they have to, because interest rates are going up, money is no longer cheap, and these companies got extremely bloated after this last couple of years because of free money flowing out. We all know that the stock market absolutely rallied for 2020, 2021. So these things it was a super good economic environment. Money was free, money was flowing, but now we're not in that. Now we're in tightening mode. Money is not free, money is hard to come by, and if you're not profitable, you might get wiped out completely. And as we know, Twitter isn't profitable, so they have to cut these costs, and it doesn't help that Elon Musk saddled the company with $1 billion of debt. That definitely hurts them drastically, but they do still need to find their path to profitability. Long term, there's problems for Twitter. We do actually have the Verge reporting Monday afternoon that Musk held a meeting and said no more layoffs were planned, and the company was hiring in engineering and sales. But people aren't cheering this on, saying, look at Twitter, they're hiring, they're focused on the firing, which I guess makes sense. But right now, he cut down the staff to what he probably thinks is critical employees, ones who want to be there and want to work for his new Twitter 2.0. And now he's got to hire other people to come in and replace the people or get more engineers is probably the big thing that's going on. And that could cause problems, could cause hiccups, but I don't want to bet against Elon in building out Twitter. After all, he has a pretty similar story with Tesla, taking Tesla out of debt and making it the most valuable car company in the world, albeit off of a little bit of, failed promises with like full self-driving, that being the driving point for Tesla. And every single call and every single time he talks about it, it's coming next year. And it's been coming next year for the last 8 years. Talking about Tesla and his other companies, if you're a shareholder in Tesla, you are probably not very happy that he's doing all this work in Twitter, because you think you want his attention to be on Tesla and running that company, not on Twitter, which it has been recently. He's been talking about Twitter nonstop. Now we can see that even Tesla here, the stock, it's falling and shows really no signs of stopping. It just gets worse and worse the more you zoom out. And let's just look at the year here, 57% almost down, which is massive. The whole market is down, but Tesla is down extraordinarily more. We can look at the S&P, down just over 16%. So it's drastically down more than the rest of the market, which obviously isn't a good thing. And if you're a Tesla shareholder, you got to think to yourself, do I want to be in this company, or is this a short-term hiccup? Is Twitter this short-term thing where he's going to focus on it for 8 months to, I don't know, a year and a half? Or is he going to be focused on Twitter for the long term? And that means Tesla suffers. So, if he's not with Tesla, do you believe in Tesla without Elon? Maybe not. And talking about the sales team, you have a diminished sales staff adds to Twitter's challenges of raising revenue after numerous large companies paused ad spending amid Twitter's turmoil. So this part I think's a little weird, because to say that the sales team would be able to get these other companies to start putting advertisements out again, I don't think is like a realistic thing to expect. And right now, the sales staff probably doesn't have a lot of work to do. So them being a skeleton crew might make sense. Once the problems get hammered out and everything starts to go back to normal for advertising, or maybe advertisers turn back in, or other advertisers come in to advertise on Twitter, then maybe you need a bigger sales team, beef it up, and be able to sell those ads. But for right now, I mean, no one's buying. It's a very select amount of companies advertising. So to cut that team probably makes the most amount of sense. And we all know that the users have been increasingly concerned about the site's stability, and some speculated that it could shut down last week. Here we are, it's not shut down. And others are fleeing the service for alternatives. So, I mean, we've seen this other times with Twitter, people trying to go away from it to other platforms. Things like Parler and Truth Social came up. But ultimately, all those people, maybe they spend some time there, but they all route themselves back to Twitter, because after all, Twitter is just a bigger network of social networks for those types of platforms. Twitter's just bigger. It's more interactions. It feels a lot more important to be on Twitter than it would be on those other ones. So people come back, and Elon Musk does this good way where he takes any publicity as good publicity, especially negative one, because negative marketing, you have to go check it out. For some reason, people are attracted to the negative. So if somebody's saying Twitter shutting down, you're probably going to Twitter to see if it's actually shutting down, what people are saying about it. And you can see this playing out in real time because the Twitter users are growing to all-time high after all-time high. Elon Musk tweets about it all the time right here, saying Twitter added 1.6 million daily active users in this past week, and another all-time high. And you can see from his chart, a little over a month ago it was 206 million, and now it's at 213 million daily active users. So although people are saying that they're fleeing the app and it's crashing down and it's no longer worth it, are they really? Because people always come back, because you always wonder what's going on Twitter. Is Twitter shut down? What are people saying about Twitter shut down? I wonder what this person's saying on Twitter. And then you read a headline saying something negative happening on Twitter, and you go to Twitter to see what's going on. So it really does result in just more users coming to the platform. Because as we know, any publicity is good publicity, especially negative one if you want to get people's attention, which is exactly what Elon's trying to do right now. And as for changes for Twitter, I think that we're going to see a lot of things try and come off very quickly. Some of them won't work, some of them will work great, and things will be shut off if they're not working, turned back on when they fix it. And we're seeing this play out too with Twitter Blue, with Elon saying holding off the relaunch of Blue Verified until there's a high confidence of stopping impersonation. We'll probably use different color check for organizations than individuals. So this gives us a direct look into kind of maybe what the future of Twitter could hold, where new features coming out are going to be pushed out pretty quickly. Maybe they don't work perfectly at first, but it'll be pushed out, see how people think about it, get the response, turn it off, fix whatever you got to fix, and try and launch it again. And I think this is a very Elon type way to run a business. So it's probably safe to assume that Twitter is going to get a bunch of new features or push out new features, whether they're perfect or not, see how they work, get a response, and if people really hate it, chalk it all together. But if people like it, but there's problems with it, turn it off and then try and fix the problems to relaunch it again. But it's super interesting to watch this play out in real time with this company, and things you don't really get to see usually. Usually you hear about it after the fact of things happening, but this one, we get to see real time what's going on Twitter, and Elon is being even more transparent by using Twitter to tweet out things that are going on. So we'll see how it plays out. I think long term, Twitter's got some big problems. The debt is massive, and they have to figure out how to make a bunch of money, and that's going to be a huge hurdle. But Elon's done it before with Tesla. Maybe he'll pull it through with Twitter. So we'll see how it all plays out. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And see you guys in my next video.